Hi, I'm Lori with Co-Creating Impact and itstimesunshine.com here with our good friend and co-creator, Elisa. How are you today?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you.
Good, good,
How are
good.
you doing?
I'm doing okay. Thanks for asking. I think we're going to talk a little bit about ADHD and some emotions. Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Uh, so the last few days, especially, it's been in my mind. So I definitely wanted to discuss it because folks that have ADHD uh, tend to have difficulty regulating their emotions. And I used to just think I'm overly sensitive, that just cry at the drop of a hat, that sort of thing. And it turns out that my brain really isn't wired properly to handle even the simplest of things that could actually touch on you. I'll give you an example what happened to me yesterday. Um, I was I woke up kind of feeling sad and I couldn't really put my finger on it. Um, I think just whatever thoughts were coming into my head just made me want to cry. And and then I'm like, okay, this is silly. I don't need to do this. But it just kept coming and I could not stop the crying, could not stop the floodworks. And then later on, I went on TikTok and scrolling through my followers and looking at my friends and and it turns out one of my friends just lost one of her pets.
Oh,
I bawled. I bawled. I don't know her that well. I know her just from TikTok. I know that, but losing a pet is so sad. However, I took it so hard and I couldn't stop thinking about it for a little while. And so that again kind of made me think, well, what's going on with, my um why am I so emotional? Why am I so sensitive to this? And there was something else that occurred that, it could be that I got hurt and I get upset about it, or somebody else gets hurt and has injures their back or something, and then I start feeling really sad. And so having control of those emotions is a struggle because people will look at you and say, oh, you're just being, overly sensitive. Oh, get over it and that sort of thing. And they don't get it. They don't understand how my brain is working and why I can't necessarily just turn it off, you know? So that's definitely something that I have a struggle with, not daily basis, but do you hear that? um, oh, okay. Um, so yeah, it's something that really bothers me sometimes, not all the time, because I think I need to also tune into my humanity here, that I am human and I have emotions, and it's okay to feel those emotions. It's okay to feel, oh, not so okay. But when it becomes a burden and you can't move past it, that's tough. Now, that's sadness. There's also frustration and irritability that comes into play. And that has been very prevalent in my life, and especially probably for since the pandemic, it's even worse because everything just kind of got turned upside down, right? Our whole lives got turned upside down in general. So I had a real difficult time not feeling so irritable that my space was invaded, that I lost my quiet time, that I had to recreate all that and try not to be so aggravated all the time because everybody was in my house now who normally were at work or at
yeah.
school.
And how did you turn that around? How did you work a plan to help yourself through that?
I started leaving the house, to be honest with you.
There you go. I
I
like it.
started leaving my space to go do something else. And I believe that's when I took on the hours of being a caregiver. I started taking on weekend hours too, because I knew that I got nothing else going on. I mean, can't go anywhere, so might as well take on those hours. But then it was a way for me to be able to, and I don't want to be mean about it, but kind of escape here because um, I was just being a grump. Who wants to be a grump? Who wants to be around a grump? And so that irritability thing is also being able to control that and not feel so um, I'll tell you, anybody with ADHD and probably others too, I would say those that are empaths like myself, you're gonna just feel everything and you kind of have to accept it and you just have to let that happen. And then eventually you can get through it. And so, one of the other things I've done, which was important to me, was getting outside, not just leaving the house and doing other things, but exercising, which I've been very consistent on definitely over the last couple months. But even prior to that, I was going out for walks. Maybe they weren't as rigorous, but getting out there, connecting with nature, watching the sunrise, all those things to kind of just distract my mind and put them back into a better perspective. Yeah.
Oh,
So
so true.
it's but this morning was tough. I can't deny that. And the other thing is also surrounding yourself with people that are going to have your back and be your supporters or cheerleaders. Those that are not going to judge you and think, oh, well, you're just being whatever. It's more about being with those that can understand what you're going through, maybe, or empathize. Maybe they don't know it, maybe they don't understand it, but at least they can kind of be there and say, all right, I'm here, I'm listening. I think that's important for any type of situation. But for those like that just don't know what to do with their emotions, it's something that it helps to have those little things in your toolbox. Friendships, getting out of your space, that type of thing.
Oh, for sure. And then your blog too. When you're writing in
Yes,
your blog, does that feel like you're giving back and you're able to release?
yes, absolutely. Um, I know sometimes I struggle with that too, because I get distracted, and I think we discussed this before, where I have like 7 drafts in my blog right now, but I actually got one of them out, so that's a good thing. Um, I think I don't want to say that I tend to want to be perfect, but I believe the way my brain works is that I have the initial thought and this great idea. I think it's a great idea. And then I start writing and the words flow. And then all of a sudden I hit this block and I don't like the way it's ending. And so I just put it aside and go back to it later. And then I try again. But what was going on with my last post, which it was just about social media consumption, I believe in it, and it was something that I really wanted to discuss. But for some reason, I just didn't like the way the words were flowing, and perfectionism came into my head. Like, why am I trying to make this so perfect? I'm not that kind of person. But I think part of the process of a person like me with ADHD is going through those thought processes and having to not just have the idea and write it down, but also just kind of mulling it over and going back. And, it takes me longer. Let's just put it that way. It takes me longer sometimes to get everything out there. So, yeah. And I'm going to definitely focus a lot more on talking about my ADHD and how I live with it and the struggles, the wins. There's some good things about it. Those that tend to avoid, which is another trait or symptom, they procrastinate, but then they work well under fire. And I always felt like I was pretty good at that. So there's some positives about it as well.
So if
And
you had a
yeah,
blog that was sitting in your drafts and you had a deadline, like, oh, I have got to get these drafts out by the end of next week, then you could be done with it
yeah,
if you had that kind
y-
of pressure on
yeah,
you.
exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah,
Yeah.
the pressure of no, the calendar. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's another trait is the sense of time. Sometimes if we have too much time in our hands, then it's just going to be like, okay, well, I'm avoiding it because I don't either feel like it or don't feel inspired or whatever it is. But if I have a deadline, like you said, well, then I got to focus. Now I can really get it going. And that has been my case. I've done that with lots of different things in my life.
Mhm.
Um, I've volunteered as a judge for a not National History Day, and I had to read 11 papers by kids that were in high school, and paper each paper was anywhere between 10 to 20 pages.
Whew.
So God bless those teachers, man, because I was like, what did I get myself into? I can't concentrate to read like 3 pages sometimes, let alone 10 to 20 pages of a historical paper. That was a struggle. But because I had a deadline, the team captain's like, we have to get this done by such and such date. I'm like,
Whew.
okay, I just got to hunker down and do it. So, yes, having deadlines are important. But I don't want to always feel like I'm under fire either. I want to be able to be comfortable with it. And,
Yeah. And
yeah.
sometimes I feel like I want to get ahead. And then when I don't feel like I'm ahead, I feel like I'm overwhelmed already.
Ah,
You know what I mean? Like I'll be like, okay, I want to get 3 more descriptions done before the end of this week for the podcast. And I don't get it done. And then it's Thursday night and it needs to be done Thursday night, at least for Friday to do the episode. And I'm like, oh no, what am I getting myself into? I didn't get it done. So yeah, it's constantly
ah,
overwhelming.
the overwhelming thing.
Ugh.
I don't know. I don't think it's just one type of person that experiences it. I think we all are overwhelmed. I think just everything that's being thrown at us lately is just can really make you feel like, I can't do this. This is too much. It could go from my house. I'm looking around my house. I'm like, okay, that needs to get done. That's been sitting there for a long time. This is over here. Why am I not fixing it? Because I have other things in my head that I just want to get done, or there's other things I think are more important that deserve my
Prioritizing.
attention.
Yes.
Mhm. So also that's just something in general is like, okay, what I find important may not be necessarily important for my husband, for instance. He sees things differently, but that's just the beauty of how we have to work together in order to get things done.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then taking on more. Just do you think, oh, it's just one thing. Oh, I'm just
Yeah.
going to go on Clubhouse because the one thing because somebody's there, you
Yeah.
know. And then you
Yeah.
take on another thing. Oh, it's just that one thing. But then it
Oh,
just
you're so
all
right.
adds up and you're like, oh my gosh, my calendar is now completely full. How'd that happen?
I know, and I've learned to have to say no.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
hard.
I don't do it well all the time, but I have learned that it's okay if I say no. That no, I
Mhm.
can't do one more thing, even though I want to do it, because I can't handle it. I need to be able to do other things. I gotta do the
Yeah.
things that are important. But
Boils down to time management, doesn't it?
it does. Time
Yeah.
management is difficult if it's not, some people got it like that, but others, it's a struggle and you just have to keep plugging along. That's why, I try to keep something right by my side lately and write down notes and look at the calendar constantly. And just I tend to repeat myself. I tend to ask questions of my family a lot. My kids especially, they're like, "Ma, you already asked me that." I go, okay, but I don't remember that I asked you that. So can you please clarify again? And you know what? So what? If I'm asking the questions, it's because I didn't remember, I didn't write it down. And I want to make sure I pick you up from school or, my kids are doing all kinds of stuff. So yeah, it's crazy.
I
And
do that.
talking about all this is making me nuts right now. It's
I
making me
do the
think,
same
holy cow.
thing. Yeah.
I go, wait a minute, did I take my medicines for this?
I do the same thing. I'm like, honey, did you brush your teeth? Mom, you just asked me that. Okay. I wasn't aware that I had. Okay. Just the littlest things like, oh, I did ask you. Okay. Did you say yes?
I know, right? I know. Part of that is probably just being a mom, just making sure that you got everything is squared away. I ask all the time. Yeah, not so much brushing teeth, but did you eat? Did you have something to
Yeah.
eat? Because my kids are teenagers, and it's like,
Yeah.
like yes, mom, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. There's food in the fridge, Mom. I know where to get it. I know what to do.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. We're good. We're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Teenage.
okay,
Teenage. Thank you so much for coming on,
yes,
Elisa. I love you so much. I
yes.
appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you so much, Lori. Good to see you.
You too.
All
Bye.
right, take care. Bye.